Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 365 Healthy by Choice Quantum Medical Center's presentation on a Tuesday to the quantum therapists, educators, leaders, teachers, clients, and operators of the wonderful Skio Eductra and the QUEX-ED. This evening, we're going to be talking about happiness. It's extremely important aspect, whether you are a therapist and whether you are a patient. Of course, we all look for happiness, and I just want to make sure that everybody's through. There we go. Welcome, everybody. Yay, awesome. So we're talking about one of my favorite topics, and as I said, which is extremely important. And I had a few words with Professor Desi a little bit earlier before I started. And, she was really also emphasizing the importance of happiness, and that many people look for happiness in external ways. And it can mean spending money, making money, impressing people, anything outside, going on sea voyages and things like that. That's external, and happiness does not come from there. It will not come. Another person can't make you happy. All right, it's an internal choice, happiness. So in any split second of the day, you have an internal choice to choose happiness or not. And it comes and goes, and you can't really hold on to it, as she was explaining. Enjoy it while it's there, and it's going to come and go. I've also got the notes in front of me from the Immune Quantum Diploma. So I'm going to be reading some of the information out to fill in the gaps. And I'll also share with you some of the practical experiences I've had with practice with the clients. And I would love it if you want to share anything on the chat as well. Please feel free to do that. And if you want to look at any of the previous recordings, it's on the Jane Mackenzie YouTube channel, and like and subscribe and comment and all those things, so we can, really make a difference in many people's lives. So that's there. And for the new people, this is weekly on a Tuesday. It used to be Wednesday, but it's on a Tuesday. So she says in the notes for the course is that happiness is an internal reaction that comes from you as a reaction to an external event. So you see a beautiful flower, you watch a beautiful performance, you're with special people, you're eating a very gorgeous food in nature, etc. So it's your reaction to an external event. Very interesting. And it comes from love, care, respect, compassion, and acceptance. Love, care, respect, compassion, and acceptance. And that respect has got a lot to do with self-respect, first of all. And I'm going to be talking about this on Thursday, our inner alchemy and self-respect, and many more aspects. We're also going to be talking about on Thursday, the astrological scientific astrological knowledge forecasted for the year. So join us on Thursday too. It's a different webinar link though. So, and the compassion is very important. And many of you might remember the Patch Adams video. Patch Adams is a medical doctor, and he set up a lot of medical clinics. And it was about happiness, but compassion for people. So these are the things that are going to build happiness. So love, care, respect, compassion, and acceptance. And I think acceptance is huge. And that's contentment. So when you see on the quantum devices software where it asks you for your desire for things to be different, 10 is extremely discontented, extremely unaccepting of an existing situation, whereas 1 is complete acceptance, complete contentment. And that is what the Taoists, the Buddha, etc., talk about: contentment, patience, gratitude. And that breeds happiness. So many people, again, are so fixated on the future or the past, what they used to have or what they don't have anymore, what they're going to have. Meanwhile, it's about being centered in the here and now and be totally contented. If you actually look around, there's more good news than bad news. There's more abundance than lack. And, it's about looking to see whether the glass is half full or half empty. What is your glass? And again, it's an instant thing, and it comes from an internal personal choice. So be careful of the mental construct that we set up, the mental chatter, the traffic in the brain, because this little brain of ours, the top one, can be very destructive, and you can self-sabotage yourself, and you can lose your identity, your place, your space, and your perspective by listening to it. And I listen very carefully when the clients come in, and most searching for happiness, and mostly in the wrong places because they're expecting it from other people and not prepared to do the work and look internally and express the love, the care, the gratitude, and the acceptance. So very, very wise words from her there. Just as I say, she says it doesn't stay too long, and that's her statement. And happiness is hormone related, and this is quite important. So it is related to testosterone, estrogen, dopamine, and it's also related to gut health. And I've been posting quite a bit about essential effective microorganisms, the microbiome reset, the product of 365 Healthy by Choice. Let me just get a name there. And this has got 80 to 120 live strains, and we have it in water. I'm just going to show you. And if you follow the people that live in the blue zone, I'm digressing slightly, but it's related. There's extreme longevity associated with the gut health and the microbiome. And they basically consume loads of beneficial, effective microorganisms on a daily basis in one form or another. And why? Because the microbes are responsible for producing serotonin. 95% of serotonin is found and made in the gut and then goes to the brain and other parts. So serotonin is the happy hormone. So why aren't we then building our gut and our microbiome to the point where we can produce the serotonin? Serotonin also comes from food. For example, foods high in tryptophan, which would be brown rice, sesame seeds, raw cacao, etc. They will produce serotonin given the right enzymes and things. And the microbes, that is just such an obvious. It's just a no-brainer, to pun intended. So the gut and the brain are totally linked. And it's the link. One of the links is the serotonin that's produced by the microorganisms. So I'm just going to have a sip quick, apart from being a little bit thirsty. So remember that, because this is really all the information is here. It's just we're just not using it. Put it that way. Then it goes on to say, only we can make ourselves happy. I'm also reading out of my notes from the course, the immune diploma that I did. And some medicines will interfere with serotonin uptake and cause people to display bad behavior. Antibiotics kill the gut microbes and are responsible for producing serotonin and the B vitamins, which are anti-stress. And I'm just checking my phone because often I don't check it and people can't get in, and then I think we're all right. So the gut will produce the serotonin and the B vitamins, and the antibiotics kill it. And then also the oral contraceptive causes a lack of B6, which causes depression. So B6, which is again what is caused by the microbes, for example, the microbiome reset, live beneficial microorganisms with enzymes. Also, you find it in kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, idli. Just some of the foods that we have available with the prebiotic in it, and not to forget with the probiotic, not to forget the prebiotics, which will grow on inulin, which will grow, for example, celery, artichokes, the very cellulosey vegetables that don't digest well. They hang around and the microbes live and multiply in the cellulosey vegetables, and which contain high inulin, and then they will be food for the microbes. So, microbes are incredibly important. I mean, I've got a new name for my microbiome reset. I think I'm going to call it happiness elixir. And why not? Because that's really what it's doing. So meditation will enhance happiness. And one of the reasons for that is because it brings in calmness. It balances the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. It brings you inward. It brings your senses inward. That's why we love the alternative nostril breathing, because it completely centers you and brings you inside. And when you've taken that breath and you're holding it, there's nothing that you're thinking about. It's mindless, and that is calm. And then happiness can come in and pervade the space. So meditation, very important. Smiling, your sleep, being with good people, and then, as I say, bringing the gratitude in. Exercise is extremely important because endorphins are released, God's natural tranquilizers and happy hormones. So exercise is very, very important. Sunshine, when they looked at the rats, equal number of rats, same cage size, same food. Those in the sunshine were leaner, had much better, stronger muscle mass, and happier. The ones inside weren't. So we know about the sun. So then one of the researchers called Hector said that happiness is not a destination, but it's a state of being. So quite interesting. And then the Dalai Lama said it's a high state of health. And I've actually used this in my doctorate that I'm busy completing for health and wellness, as a higher attainment, a higher state of health. And the I Ching speaks of patterns of change. And so the happiness will be there. It will last for a while. And then there will be reason for change, chaos and change, so that the patterns can change according to the I Ching and what we know in the quantum field. So don't be surprised if you then put into another space and have something to deal with it objectively, knowing what you're doing, understanding that there's a growth point here, and you would achieve your joy again. So the periods of joy, sadness, for example. So it returns, but again, not without hard work. So this is what we're dealing with, us as humans, as we develop. We're constantly changing and evolving, and epigenetics has a lot to do with this. That is our present day, where we live, who we're with, the choices that we've made are going to alter our thought patterns, our happiness, and the evolving and constantly evolving patterns of our DNA. And this, again, is also changing in space and time. So we've got to work with the quantum changes, the chaos, the repatterning, the chaos, the repatterning, the chaos, the repatterning, the ever evolving cycles, which is fun. And then Desi says that the desire for things to be different is the main cause of suffering. And how do we reduce the suffering? The principal cause of suffering is craving. Once craving is eliminated, much suffering will be eliminated. Still, more suffering will be eliminated once ignorance is eliminated. Both craving and ignorance are equally powerful defilements that cause suffering. The more you want things different, the more you will suffer. If you ignore truth, your ignorance will cause suffering. to release your suffering, listen to your pain, change what you can, accept what you cannot, and pray for the wisdom to stop ignoring and grow your mind. Very, very, very important. And how do we do all of this? Well, there's other things that we can do in terms of our daily affirmations, focusing on gratitude, patience, and care and love and respect for others, raising our awareness and our wisdom, and so thereby raising our consciousness. So again, regarding the gut and food, whole plant food, especially raw, is a very important aspect to happiness. Eating whole plant-based foods with very high neg entropy, very high life force. So people talk about raising their vibration. Yes, happiness is a high state of vibration, and quite difficult to get there if you're holding pain. For example, big financial loss, big job loss, not with friends, not recognizing or resonating with nature. Your job is your job. It's not a vocation. In other words, your passion is not in there. And these are your health, not neglecting your health. These are various lower states of happiness, joy, peace, and so on that lead you to ultimate happiness. So the work needs to be done, and the emotions need to be released in the lower state of the lower dimensions of health and wellness, which cover quite a broad space. You know, what are you doing for the environment and your care and your respect, etc. So food is a very, very important aspect. And to raise our vibration above the lower astral, the lower soul, coarse soul feelings and emotions, we need to elevate ourselves to the upper astral, the upper soul, pure feelings without greed. And then also those people who are, and this is something I'm studying at the moment, and I'll talk more on Thursday, but people who are obsessed with greed and constantly think the world is closing down and coming to an end and suffering, and I'm suffering. It's your self-talk. It's your mental construct. But that kind of mental construct and self-talk is very toxic, and it creates toxins inside you. Those very parasites that you see outside, you create inside you. So the outside is always a mirror reflection of what's inside you. So if you're carrying those mental constructs and discontent and desire for more and greed and envy and jealousy, not being contented, you will self-pollute your own body through your own inner alchemy. What do I mean by that? Your own gold, silver, copper, your own goodness gets transmuted into trash, into toxins by you. So again, it's a self-responsibility thing, and it happens within you. So often you see on the quantum software, clean up your thoughts. You know, you are what you think, you are what you eat, but clean up your thoughts. And we're talking about this brain, the observer brain, the emotional brain. And that's why we speak a lot about non-judgmental awareness, non-reactive. See things, but it doesn't. You don't have to create a reaction. That reaction will cause toxicity in you and will cause negative emotions and toxicity to stay inside you. You release it all, you clear. You release everything, you then just become a conduit. Things pass through you. Non-judgmental awareness and no reaction. It doesn't matter about what other people are doing, because it's not their fate is theirs. It's got nothing to do with you. Your fate is yours. So feel it, live it, and remove those emotions. And we do this day in and day out. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I saw today and healed, and yesterday and the day before, etc., etc. And yesterday was a classic example. This lady about 57, completely distressed, life in an absolute turmoil and mess, and setting up beautiful antique and setting up beautiful safaris for people and setting up and helping other people set up, but she never did anything for herself. What does her inner shop look like? What is her inner journey, her own inner safari? Basing her model on her father's behavior in terms of buying expensive things. And I said to her at one stage, it's a possibility your dad was lonely. And she just stopped completely. And she said to me, yes, I think you're right. I said, and you? Are you lonely? And then she, came to terms with it. And I said to her, why are you always looking outside for more and more things when you've got everything? Any case, this was the gist of the discussion. And we then were able to dissolve the old mental construct. That's actually a legacy passed down through history, through the ancestors, and reset and reboot and dissolve the mental constructs and reconnect her with her own essence, her own pure essence. It was absolutely beautiful. And it's really good when the client gets it, when they actually look at things from the other side of the coin. Now that you say that, Jane, and I see it in this light, I understand. And once people understand, they can let it go. Once they understand their learning and their gift, it's not about the story and who did it. It's about what they were supposed to learn. So anyway, that's just a little bit about what we do. It's above anything that you do, because you can do quantum skio after quantum skio after quantum skio, products, whatever your healing modalities are, what you like. Have as many overseas trips as you want to. But until we remove what you're carrying emotionally, it's going to manifest in the physical. It will block you from being happy. So one of the top questions when we do the SOC with our soft quantum software is rate your happiness out of 10. It gives you and your the quantum therapist an idea of where we are right now. And it's a starting point, because everybody is striving for happiness, peace, joy as they transcend. So it's a daily practice, actually. And it's very selfless concern for the well-being of others. And I'm quoting Professor Deirdre Dubounet, Rudolf Steiner here, constantly looking at things in the light of, is my glass half full or half empty? So, as healers, we need to always, honor with respect the people that come in. I do. I'm more honored that they've come to me than I want them to be honored. I mean, then I can honor them. What am I trying to say? I'm more honored that they came to me than they might be honored that they came to me. For example, the honor is more on my side. And that does come with humility and compassion. And if you start your consultations like that, they're huge, because the quantum field just opens up for you and you get all the info that you need. So love and laughter, very important, good medicines. And that's, the laughing Buddha. Let's think about that. So lots of things are there. They're not so subtle. They're actually in our face. So eating well, synthetic anything is an insult to your body and will not make you happy. It's as simple as that. Not able to. And if you like sweet things, it's very transient. It's very quick. It's gone again. And you're actually in the dump. Stress reduction, important. Exercise, we talked about that. Symptoms are not the enemy. They are our guide. Pain is God's gift to know something is wrong. Fix what is wrong before you attack the pain. And that's what I'm saying. And it's the body speaking the mind. So that was important. And then let me just see what else I wanted to speak to you about here. Yeah, also we've got that stress, the Cele bar on the quantum software, which is also reflecting the person's ability to deal with stress. And of course, the more stressed you are, the less happy you're going to be. It's just that even if people tell you they're happy, but you see the adrenaline's up, the cortisol's up, and their adaptation to stress is high exhaustion, then it's not possible to be happy. They'll tell you, but it's a mask. Deep inside, no, and they're looking outside. So looking outside brings stress. I mean, I had a guy today as well, stressed, body in a mess, metabolic syndrome, breakdown, etc. What's the story? No, too many good opportunities, too many business opportunities. I don't have enough time to deal with them. I'm dropping balls. I'm not focusing on my core, what I should be doing, my gift, in other words. And I said, well, let's just change the language here and start resetting all of this, because your temptation to the distraction is too great, and you're not honoring yourself with respect by taking on too much. Sometimes big isn't always better. Sometimes less is more. And so we pieced it together. And I did also emotional clearing about why this is happening, why this need and greed almost for more and more and more. And this man walked out a very happy, contented man compared to what came in. And he walked out with his big bottle of microbiome reset. And I know we're going to have a happy chat very soon. So, but again, it's also coaching the people and being there for them and holding their hands, because it will slip and they don't know it. To damn in the dumps, what happened? And it's about, well, another layer of toxins are leaving you, or what have you been thinking all day? What happened? So we can always be very aware of stress, judgment, and reaction, because those things are going to stamp out happiness. Let me see what else I wanted to say. I think almost. I think the last question here is, people need to be aware of their freedom of choice. People choose bad behaviors. If they do, they need to be responsible for their choices. And as therapists, we need to encourage clients to be responsible. We have to educate them and encourage them to be responsible, know that they are responsible for their health, their happiness. All we really are catalysts. Position, heal ourselves. So we want to put examples in front of them and work with the quantum skier, work with the products, natural, nature-made nutrients like the 365 Healthy by Choice products, all on the website. That's 365healthybychoice.com. Go and then see all of those products are nature-made, as nature intended, with the intelligence and the DNA intact. So when the body receives them, it doesn't dip and have to reset and use its own energy and enzymes. It knows exactly what to do, and it can raise your vibration, your life force, and ultimately your happiness. Help you work through those trials that you need to work through in order to reach the tribulations, in other words. So again, we can't really stress enough about food, and eating at the right time of the day is also important. When the sun goes down, the food becomes toxic. For example, I have non-GMO chickens. They've never eaten any genetically modified corn or anything like that before. So they're quite a pure strain. And apart from that, their feet are on the ground all day. And at around about 5:30, 5:45, every day they get on their perch. If I walk in there with delicious greens and seed, and I've tried it, and put it down for them, they will not get off the perch, because that is toxic for them. They do not see it as appealing. They know it's not appealing. Whereas us as humans keep the light burning all night and eat late hours. So again, we're toxifying. What's the guarantee you're going to wake up happy in the morning after you've stuffed all this food down and you slept with a huge full stomach, and it's all putrefying and fermenting, and it's full of sugar and etc. and toxic. The worms are just going to come. How can worms, if you're carrying worms, how are you going to be happy? You can't. The vibration is too low. So I guess the end result I'm saying is empower yourself by raising your awareness, and empower your clients' awareness so that they can also raise their own awareness and raise their happiness. So if there's any questions, let me know. As I said to you, the new name on the microbiome reset is going to be happiness. So if you do one thing to raise your happiness, go and get yourself the best. You can order the microbiome online if you want to, or wherever you are in the world. Go and get yourself the best probiotic you can find. This one has got 80 to 120 live strains, and you can't get that. And it's also second generation brew. So it's got nutraceuticals in it that aren't even listed in textbooks. So I hope this has given you, some food for thought. And it's a conscious thing. It's happiness is work in progress. And I wish you all very high states of happiness and joy and peace. Thanks for coming in.